Hey everyone, and welcome back to our Facts You Didn't Know series, where we've been taking a deep, funky dive into each one of Prince's albums. Today, we're looking at an album that is not a Prince album in name, but is a Prince album in every other respect. We're taking a look at Newpower Soul, which is officially credited to the Newpower generation. Now, fans of this series might note that we did not make videos on the two previous Newpower generation albums. That's because there's not so much of a case for those being Prince albums. He didn't appear on the cover art to either of them. The first one contained lead vocals from Tony M, and the second one, Exodus, mostly had lead vocals from Sonny T. Although, of course, Prince was writing the songs and playing the music. Now, this isn't the case with Newpower Soul. Prince is on the cover artwork, does lead vocals on all the songs, and you could even argue that his name is on the cover, since the cover does contain a stylized version of the love symbol, which, after all, was his name at the time. And really, when you think about it, this album actually contains more songs where Prince performs lead vocals than Graffiti Bridge does. So for all intents and purposes, we're happy to consider this a Prince album. With that being said, we are now getting into a time frame where there simply isn't as much information out there around these albums, so please accept my apologies if this video ends up a little shorter than some of our previous ones. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first interesting fact: even though there is a 3-year time frame between this album and the previous NPG album Exodus, one of the Exodus songs was originally planned to get a second lease of life on this album via one of its remixes, and it's a song you probably know. The Big City mix of the track The Good Life, originally released on the song's CD single, actually appeared on an early tracklist configuration of Newpower Soul, and that's why the song is referenced along with the other songs on the album in the lyrics of the title track. Of course, the other thing the two albums have in common is that they both contain a song named Newpower Soul, but they are two completely separate songs. The only way of telling the difference when written down is that the title track from this album is written with New Power as one word instead of two. Now, the album only generated either one or two singles, depending on how you look at it. The only official retail single was the track Come On, but the song The One was issued as a promo single, and of course also has a music video. However, it's interesting to note that Prince originally planned for the first single to be neither of these songs. In February of 1998, Prince posted via his official Love for One Another website that he was deciding whether Mad Sex, Push It Up, or the title track should be the first single. But ultimately, none of those songs became singles at all. Now, the song When You Love Somebody is an absolutely brilliant track, and it always goes down well when we play it in a DJ set, but it also has an interesting fact about it. Now, this song might well be the only Prince song to feature musicians from a Prince cover band. Yes, you heard that right. Despite having his regular collaborators, the Hornheads, on this song, Prince also used horn parts that he recorded from the musicians in a New York-based Prince cover band named Days of Wild. They must have been absolutely elated to get that call. There's a few songs done at this time that escaped in various forms, but didn't appear on the album. Prince's cover of the Shania Twain hit You're Still the One was originally slated to be the B-side to the Come On single, but instead only ended up being briefly streamed online. Another song, Funk Radio, had a snippet streamed online, but has never been released in full. And finally, the song S&M Groove was done during these sessions, but didn't end up getting released until a few years later on the Slaughterhouse set. Now let's talk about live performances of these songs. With the exception of the song The One, which popped up semi-frequently in set lists for the rest of Prince's life, most of the songs on this album were either never performed live, or only a handful of times following the release of the album. But the hidden track Wasted Kisses has an interesting history. It was only ever performed once, but that performance happened in 2007 a full 9 years after its release, at Club 3121 in Las Vegas. What compelled Prince to perform the song that night, the only time he ever did, is something we may never know. And the final fact: if you bought the very first pressing of this album upon release, you might have noticed that the track listing artwork on the back cover has an error on it, going from track 5, Shooby Doo, straight to track 7, Push It Up. This is due to the big city mix of The Good Life, which we previously mentioned being pulled at the last minute. Originally, that was supposed to be track 6. And that's it for another Facts You Didn't Know video. If you're enjoying this series and would like to see more, smash that like button, leave us a comment, and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. All of this makes us happy and motivates us to continue doing what we do. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again next time for more Facts You Didn't Know. Peace, and be wild.
Hey, I'm Anna Fantastic, and you're tuned in to The Violet Reality.